The other day was day 226 in protesting for over the police shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Yesterday was day 227, but, the demonstrations are relatively similar from day to day. And so, but, again, I like to have a complete course here. But again, so the day before, 226, we had some people setting up for the Christmas parade, which was yesterday. They were setting up over the last couple of days. And, again, there's been a lot going on here in Elizabeth City. I mentioned this a couple of days ago, but there's been an explosion of, gun violence in Elizabeth City. Not related to the police, but of course the police. People always say, all right, we need cops. We need them. Yeah, they keep killing people all the time, but we need them. We need them. So we need the cops. And yet the cops don't do anything. They're somehow, they're not able to stop crime or help people survive, or keep people alive. They're not able to, maybe, arrest people that are involved, or would be involved in these shootouts that are there's a lot going on in Elizabeth City. So I'm always whenever the cops kill someone, you always have this group of people. Oh, but who are you going to call? Who are you going to call? What do you mean when they do this and that and that and that and then this and that? Who are you going to call when they do that? And then you're going to call, nope. But whenever there's something that happens, the cops are too little too late all the time, every single time. And so, and so again, that's just another aspect of what we protest about here. Whoops, this is a different video. Hold the phone, folks, hold the phone. Got some bad producing here. Got some bad producing. Here we go. I'm a little disheveled this morning. Little disheveled. Just a little bit. But anyway, again, the video is less relevant than me talking about the story, I suppose. But anyway, again, we've been out here for 227 days, I believe. And again, I would like to remind people that really, right now, we're waiting on a lawsuit, the determination of this lawsuit, that is going on in, I believe, federal court against the sheriff's department. And again, there's a lot going on in Elizabeth City. The Elizabeth City Police is notoriously awful. The Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department, again, notoriously awful. The way I see it, they're just parasites and leeches sucking away government tax dollars. There's shootings happening almost every single day. And no one, the cops aren't doing anything about it. They're not, and again, when we really think about it, I want to talk about this as well. When we really think about these things, a lot of the shootings going on in Elizabeth City are gang related. Right? What are gangs' main source of power? The drug war. If drugs were not, illegal, Schedule 1, the DEA is going to come knock down your door. If that weren't the case, and you could just go down to the coffee shop and get whatever drug you wanted, gangs would not have as much power. Now, would they still exist? Probably, but they wouldn't have as much power, right? And so we're living in a state, North Carolina, where things like marijuana, you can go to jail for months or years for smoking a blunt on your walk home from work. You're working retail, you're working in fast food, right? And so you're just trying to unwind before you get home, and boom, a year in prison. It's just, it's ridiculous, right? And then this causes this subculture, a black market that provides power to these people. Again, where would gangs get their power if, it weren't for the drug war? I'm just asking. But then I wonder, why do people join gangs? Well, it's because capitalism sucks dick. It's because this country is garbage and people feel like they have no options in life. What are you going to do? Join the military or join a gang, and at least you can stay at home? And so again, we're living in a society where there's a completely made up, manufactured problem, And the cops do nothing. The government does nothing. All they do is show up, clean up the bodies, and move along. Because this country doesn't fix problems. This country looks at problems, says, wow, that's a problem, and then goes home and does nothing and doesn't give a shit. And that's the problem with this country. Look, hey, Andrew Brown Jr. was a drug dealer. He was in drugs. He got shot and killed. But guess what? Did the drug problem stop? No! Is there still problems in the community with drug overdoses? Absolutely. Are drugs still in the city? Absolutely. So again, they went in there and killed someone because they had to. Andrew Womble, the district attorney, said they couldn't let him get away. They had to kill Andrew Brown because he was a drug dealer. Evil drug dealer. And hey, I've lived in Elizabeth City for a while, a couple years, right? And I can tell you right now, ever since Andrew Brown Jr. was killed, there's been a lot more shootings. Now, I don't know if there's a correlation. I'm not sure. But all I know is the problem isn't being solved. All I know is that this country is failing. This state, North Carolina, is trash. It is garbage. It is shit on my shoes. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners are garbage. They're terrible. The Elizabeth City Council right now, terrible. It's garbage. These are a bunch of people that don't want to do the hard things. They don't want to address the mental health crises in this country. They don't want to address poverty in this country. They don't want to address the decriminalization or legalization of drugs to stop black markets and gangs from having so much power in this country, right? They don't want to address anything because they don't care. They don't give a fuck, right? Because they're not the ones being affected by these shootings. They're not the ones being shot and killed. They're powerful. Their families are protected. They're fine. And because of that, they don't care. And that's a fucking problem for me. That's a problem. So I just wanted to talk about that in this thing because this city, Elizabeth City, is going to shit really fast. And again, as I've been laying out over the last 230-ish videos about, the politics of this city, when I discuss the Andrew Brown case and the protesting, I discuss the politics of Pasquotank County and Elizabeth City often. And again, they haven't addressed any problems. Like, Andrew Brown Jr. was shot and killed. They gave the shooters a raise. They gave the shooters paid vacation. They gave them a new uniform. You know what I mean? Like, the politics of this country, I feel like Pasquotank County, Elizabeth City is a really good bellwether for just how fucked up this fucking stupid ass garbage country is. This city sucks. This county sucks. This state sucks. This country sucks. It's all shit on my shoes. And I know I said that already. But again, this country just looks at problems and says, wow, that's fucked up, and then just goes on their merry way. No one cares at all. And when you try to say, hey, wait a second, maybe we should do something about this, people will go, oh, you're going too far. You're going too far. You're going too far. But then there's another group of people that are like, oh, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. Vote, vote, vote. Well, in a lot of these states, our rights of being able to vote, well, not necessarily my rights. I'm a white person, right? But a lot of people that are not white, right, their right to vote is being slowly stripped away. And, I think the last number I read was 26 states or something have passed anti-voter legislation in the state houses and all that stuff. And so, voting isn't going to solve the problem. I'm sorry. Voting is one possible tool in the toolbox. It is a step in the right direction. Yes, we need to vote. Duh. Just like we need to, in order to go somewhere, we need to travel, right? So, yes, we need to vote. But we need people to vote for. We need candidates to vote for. We need to organize, right, an inside and an outside strategy. Because right now, a lot of people just say, vote, 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 vote. Get me in there, vote, vote, vote. And then, all right, we voted. Look at Joe Biden. Historic. The most votes Joe Biden, right, the most votes any presidential candidate's ever gotten. Democrats control the Senate, the House, the presidency. And look at this country. Has anything gotten better? Has your life improved? Well, we voted. We need someone to vote for, right? In Elizabeth City, we are having candidates lining up to vote for. Kirk Rivers is running for mayor. He's been heavily involved in these protests since the start. And so that's good. But again, we also need to remind ourselves that we can't just vote for people to go to office and then say, all right, we voted, so let's go home. We need an inside and an outside strategy. We need people outside to constantly put pressure on the government, right? We need people outside to give the people inside the reason that they need to do what they need to do to fix the problems, right? And again, this is on all forms of government, state, local, municipal, county, like federal, all that. All forms of government, probably in the whole world, but definitely in America because I live here and I know that. We need like, and this comes from just people need to start realizing what the fuck's going on. I mean, again, we still have like 30% of the country that are Republicans. They're Republicans. In 2021, they just don't give a shit at all about fixing anything. Their kids, fuck their kids. They look at their kids and go like, I want you to die at the age that I had you because of climate change, because of lack of health care, because maybe you'll get gunned down in the street. Republicans look at their children and say, I hope you die very soon. Because that's the country that they're voting for. That's the country that they're advocating for. They want guns in the streets. They want drugs to be illegal so that there's giant black market gang shootings all the time, right? They want these fascist jackboot thugs like cops to kill people for fun indiscriminately, just going throughout the street, just, shooting people for fun, beating the shit out of people for fun, throwing people in jail for fun, just making things up for fun, planting drugs on people for fun, right? They vote for that. They want that. They want their kids to die as soon as possible. That's Republicans, around 35% of the country, right? And then we look at everyone else, and they just don't give a shit. They just don't give a fuck. No one cares. So the Republicans really want to kill all of our kids. They want to murder the entire population of this country. They want to control it. They want to kill everyone who doesn't conform. They want to kill everyone who's not a white person, not a straight person, not a Christian fundamentalist loser. They want to murder them all. And everyone else is like, whatever. Whatever. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I'm going to go home and watch Wheel of Fortune. Right? This country sucks. Right? And I'm sick of it. I'm sick. I don't want to spend, again, we all have life, right? A beautiful, amazing thing. We all get this amazing gift, right? Of the human experience. I don't want to spend my days running around outside with a megaphone saying this shit's fucked up all day, every day, right? I don't want to. Clearly, nobody wants to, given the amount of people that actually do demonstrations in the whole country. Right? No one wants to do any of this. But what are the options? We pretend that there's no problem until the problem arrives at our door and shoots us in the head, or we do something about it collectively. Because the more people that involve themselves in this process, the easier it is for everyone, right? Imagine doing everything yourself. Imagine doing 100% of the job all yourself. Versus you have 20 people that are helping you. Now you're only doing 5%. Now imagine you have 200 people helping you. Now you're only doing 0.5%, etc. And that's why we all need to band together, because the more people that organize, the more people that try to change things, the easier it becomes for everyone involved. And that's what we have to remember. So again, I just wanted to talk about that. Because how can we live in a world where people can murder people, then paid vacation, raise, all on our dime? I paid for that. I gave my money to the government, and the government spent my money on giving a murderer, an assassin, an increased salary. They've already got too much money. They got more money from my money. I could have spent my money on weed, motherfucker. I could have bought a cake at the bakery, motherfucker. I could have bought the new Halo game. But instead, what I had to do was give my money to the Pasquotank fucking County Sheriff's Department. Oh, I'm sorry, the peace officers now. That's what they're calling themselves. I had to give my money to them. What the fuck is that shit? Imagine that. But anyway, I just wanted to go on a little bit of an open-ended one on that one. Yeah.